Now, my presentation is going to be pretty brief. But after that, in case you want to ask some general things about industry also, I am available. Okay. So now let me talk about this Chem Skill Development Center. So what exactly this Chem Skill Development Center is trying to do, maybe the entire thing is summarized in the first slide itself. We want to move you comfortably from this level to that level. See, always there is a concern among the students that what is the industrial life, how far whatever taught in the classes or whatever you studied in the classes are fully applicable. With that, can I directly enter into the job or something else is required? This is the concern on this side. On the industry side, okay, we have a lot of brainy team coming in from the colleges, but do they have the practical knowledge so that they can be directly put on the job? There is a gap. If you take the medical education, after completion of 4.5 years, 1 year they work as an intern, then only they get the degree. So after real practical experience only they get the degree. But in engineering it's not like that. Maybe of late even internship is becoming part of one of the subjects, but it is not to the extent like what you have in a medical education, right? So the point is there is a gap between whatever you are learning in the colleges and whatever industry is expecting. I'm not going into why that gap is there, how to bridge that gap and all those things. That's a separate conversation by itself. And whatever program which we are trying to offer, what we call as industry-oriented knowledge program, are we trying to fully take care of that? The answer is no, because I don't want to tell you something which is not happening. Once you join a company, normally the company offers a training program anywhere between 12 to 18 months, shaping you to meet the requirement of that particular company and whatever job is assigned to you. That's a very, very specific program. We are not doing anything specific like that, because as far as we are concerned, we don't know into what kind of job you are going to enter. Assuming that you are not going to IT or you are not going for IIM or other things, assuming that someone who wants to enter into a core chemical engineering industry, probably somebody may go into operations, which is production, or maybe technical services, or maybe some consulting organization, or even a design organization. And these days there are a lot of safety and environment consulting organizations, even specifically. So we really don't know what is going to be our career. But at the same time, we want to tell you certain, at least minimum inputs to ensure that your transition from academic life into industrial life is smooth. This is the purpose of whatever program we are offering. Okay, with this, let's go. So what is this Chem Skill Development Center? Who is running it? This is not any private tuition center or something like a NEET coaching camp. It's not like that. This is a joint initiative of industry associations. It's a trust formed by Chemical Industry Association, Indian Chemical Council and Manali Industries Association. This was formed about 1.5 years back with the sole purpose of whatever I have been saying. Okay, what are our objectives? So we want to prepare younger generation coming out of the colleges to meet the needs of the industry. So in our program, we are providing a kind of practical knowledge to the students and build confidence. You don't have to look at the industry with a kind of diffidence. Oh, what's going to happen? How is that life? They say that that's totally a different kind of life. That kind of diffidence we don't want you to have. On the other hand, we want to build confidence in your minds. And we want to make you competitive and employable compared to someone else who may not undergo this program. So there is some delta X which you will get through this program. So how do we do that? We want you to learn the overview of the industry and also the best practices in the industry. We will also make you to understand what does an industry expect from you. Then chemical industry, the safety and environment, this is what we call as the basic canvas. Only on the basic canvas we want to build the rest of your career. You are definitely aware of the public perception about the chemical industry, right or wrong. That is again a different conversation. I am not going into that. But what kind of culture we want to build in the younger minds which is entering into the chemical industry. So the emphasis will be on safe practices, environmental concerns, and we want you to start with a proper mindset to protect the environment and to ensure that safety in each and every activity of yours when you enter an industry will be maintained. That is the way we want to give you some inputs. So overall, we want to develop the students to eventually become world-class engineers. Apart from this, we are also running programs for engineers with a few years of experience. So that's what the last one is, enhanced skills and knowledge to operators and engineers, even with a few years of experience. We are not really targeting still people with a lot of years of experience. We have already run some programs in Chennai, Kadalur and Ranipet industrial belts. There we are not limiting only to chemical engineers. Engineers of any branch working in a chemical industry. So what do we expect from an engineer working in a chemical industry irrespective of the branch? Why are we doing that is, once somebody enters into production, his mind is totally only into production. Somebody into maintenance, only maintenance. But at a macro level, we want the younger minds to get the total picture. So that's that way also we have structured a program that's also going on. Okay, so how are we doing that? You have got a lot of theoretical knowledge, and if you ask me some questions about some equations, derivations and all that, please take it for granted, I will fail in that exam. So theoretically, you people are all very sound, we have got no doubt about that. But the only thing is we want to complement your theoretical knowledge with industrial practices so that you also understand the practical application of whatever you are studying. And certain additional things which I was saying, which are called as the industrial expectations, industrial practices and all that. So apart from converting your theoretical knowledge to practical orientation, we will also give you some more inputs which will make you comfortable with the industry. So how do we do that? We are very flexible. So far 6 programs have been completed and now the 7th batch is going on. Next week the 8th batch is starting. We have done online programs, especially during Corona time, and on some occasions when the college is not able to allot sufficient number of hours during the working hours, we have also run evening online programs. We have also run face-to-face programs, and of course our preference is face-to-face because always the interaction is good. We can also read the body language and accordingly we can start talking something. So we have run both the ways. It has been online, it has been face-to-face. It has been every day, only during weekends. In fact, the next program which we are going to start is going to be only on Saturdays, because they are not able to allot time during the college days. So every Saturday it is going to be run for a few weeks. Then, who is really running this program? We have got a big panel of about 45 or 50 people, each with 30 to 40 years of experience in the chemical industry. These are the people who are running individual sessions. Of course, we also have some who are already working in the industry right now, not only retired people like me. We also invite 1 or 2 people from the institutions also. After all these lecture sessions, we send people for about 10 days of in-plant training with specific focus. If somebody goes to a particular company, we do not want that to be a kind of picnic or just going around and coming back after 10 days. We don't believe in that. So we also give them not a very tedious or a tough assignment, but some simple things so that with respect to that people can understand and they can go deep into understanding the industrial practices. Plus we also give some kind of briefing based on whatever we run in the classes. Look for this aspect, look for this aspect. There you'll understand the difference between whatever you have studied in the college and what is an industrial practice. So that way we want these lecture sessions to be followed by the practical training to be a kind of wholesome process the people get, so for the people to get benefited. Now quickly I ran through what kind of topics we are covering. First we start with the overview of the chemical industry at the international level, at the Indian level, and at Tamil Nadu level, what exactly it is, what kind of growth is happening, into which sector, that kind of thing, a kind of, let's say, initial introduction. Then life cycle of a chemical plant. Life cycle of a chemical plant means from the time a concept is identified. When I say concept, some entrepreneur even may not know what kind of chemical he wants to manufacture. From that stage we start. So from that time, what are all the various activities till that time a plant is put into operation, and also they go into further expansion and all that. So the entire thing starting from the concept till development of the company, what are all the various steps involved? Because normally, at least as far as I am concerned, I can tell you, when I came out of the college, I thought a process means you have some 5-6 boxes. Into the first box raw material enters, and in the final box product comes out. A chemical plant is not as simple as that. One is developing a chemical plant is not as simple as that, and even an operation of a chemical plant is not as simple as that. So the whole gamut of things we give us a kind of introduction initially. Then we go a little bit deep into various aspects. Then plant design. I'm sure you have studied a lot of things in the college, and we are not going to repeat any of the equations or how to derive the equation. None of those things we are going to touch. On the other hand, whatever you have studied, whether it is heat transfer, mass transfer, or fluid dynamics, how is that going to be applicable, and practically what kind of things are expected? That is the way the plant design part of is structured. We also talk about international standards and building in safety during the design stage itself, and how to read an engineering drawing, because always people say that drawing is the language of engineers. So likewise on design we are covering certain things. Then about utilities, operation control systems. What exactly we mean by operation of a chemical plant? It means if you are put as, let's say, in charge of a particular shift, is it that only production you look after, or there is something more? We always say that the person who is in charge of a particular shift is somebody like a mini president of the company, especially during the nights. So what kind of overall role and what kind of additional things somebody should know in addition to operating a plant? So overall, what are the responsibilities for somebody in an operations? Then logistics, technical services, asset integrity is something about equipment reliability. Unless your equipments are reliable, the plant is not going to run continuously, right? So what kind of aspects to be looked after? That is what is covered in asset integrity. Then support of quality control laboratory, monitoring of the process and what kind of improvements, how do you approach those things, safe practices during the operations, risk management, root cause analysis. If there is a problem, how do you solve it, and how do we find out the root cause? What exactly is the root cause? Say normally, if there is a problem, knowingly or unknowingly, immediately we think of some solution, which need not have to be correct. In root cause analysis, through a very scientific method, we list down various possibilities. It might have happened, it might not have happened. What's all possible for this problem to have occurred? Then analyze one by one. Would this have been happened? Is there any supporting evidence? What is the possibility of option 2 to have happened? Is there a supporting evidence? Like that you analyze everything, then finally find out what exactly initiated this. So that is the root cause, and once that is initiated, probably something else also might have happened. There are other causes. So basically we go to the root cause to eliminate that so that the problem does not repeat. So how exactly do that? This is very important in industry, we go to that. Then behavior based safety, then spill control. Chemical plants normally have all kinds of protections, but in spite of all the protection, in case a chemical gets released, so what kind of management to be done so that the equipment, people and the vicinity is protected from the exposure of that. That's what is covered in spill control. HACCP is hazards and operability, which is identifying various possibilities of anything going wrong in a plant and installing certain mitigation measures. Simulation You people are all very well versed about that. I don't want to say much about that. Then environment impact assessment studies, quantitative risk assessment, then pollution monitoring and control, environmental regulations, project management, something on renewable energy, then problem solving, industry 4.0 also many of you may be aware of, then entrepreneurship, economics of production. What are all the, it's not really a full-fledged finance for non-finance, but for someone starting the career in the chemical industry, what kind of aspects of financial management should be known to somebody. Very fundamental or preliminary thing, but which is a must for anyone to know, because any business is run to make money. Making money is not a crime as long as it is made in an ethical manner, right? So you should know how are you making money and what are the factors going into that, how to control things and how to manage. So this is the way this will go on. Then TPM, responsible care. What kind of challenges are there in the corporate career? What kind of opportunities are there? Someone will say for the chemical industry when somebody comes out, what are all the options available? Then college to corporate transformation, which I have been talking about. How do we make that transition smooth? So who is running all these sessions? And I told you that already we have got a big team of people and they are drawn from various industries like refining, petrochemicals, fertilizers, design organizations, some of the consulting companies, project management companies, energy management companies, people who are working in safety systems. So we have got people from all walks of chemical engineering life giving you the lectures. So how exactly this program is different from whatever training programs you are coming across? As far as we know, this is the only program which is run by experienced faculty members from the industry itself. We are also told that this is the first of its kind in India. Okay. Now, what have we done so far? We have covered about 230 or so in the 6 batches we have covered so far. And as I told you, 7th batch is going on and the 8th batch is starting next week. And I also mentioned already about the program for few years of experience in Kadalur and Chennai and Ranipet. We also ran a program for operators in Manali Industrial Belts. The program feedback. Now, I told you all along about the content of the program. How did we really make a self-check on ourselves? This is what I want to tell you. After each session in the program, in the last 6 programs, if it is online, we made a feedback form to pop up once the session is over. You close the call and the form pops up. We didn't want to get a rating on 1 to 5, 1 to 10 and all that. At least personally, I don't believe that. So we gave some set of questions. And really what we were looking for also has to be sandwiched. You should not really ask the question you are targeting as the first question. This is all by experience. So first question is, what did you learn in this program? Not what did you learn. What did you like in this program? Second was, what did you not like in this program? Third question is important for us. What did you learn something new in this session which was not known to you before? Then what more could have been covered in the same session? Do you have any suggestions for improving the sessions for the future batches? This is the way it is structured. So basically we were targeting question number 3. What did you learn something new in this session? All the batches, all the sessions, the feedback is really very good, except some minor comments like a speaker used too much of abbreviations and we are not from the industry, so it will be really good. That's a very valid comment. So he also revised his presentation for the subsequent batches. Another comment was something like too many things were covered within 1.5 hours. It was very difficult to assimilate so many things. Either reduce the content or make it as 2 sessions, 3 hours. That also we took care. Otherwise, everything was good. So it means, because after all, the program content was something designed by us. Some 4 or 5 of us sat together. We had some kind of brainstorming. We made a big list. And again, if the program is too long also, people may not like it. So we did some kind of prioritization, elimination, addition. And even though we keep updating the program content from time to time. So basically, whether the program content is good, this is what we wanted to find out through this feedback mechanism. Then, okay, the content is good, but how far it is practically useful. So for this, what we did was, we have a CSDC alumni WhatsApp group. So we have got all the contacts. So whoever got employed, at random I picked up some 15 people, different dates. I talked to them over phone. Just 2 questions. Could you perform better in the interview because of the inputs you got in the CSDC program? This is question number 1. The answer was yes from all of them, but I didn't want to get satisfied because it is always easy to say yes and avoid further discussion. So I said, thank you, tell me the question and the answer you gave. Then we really know whether that question, whichever is supposed to have been answered by the participant, is only because of the input what we gave. So they also gave example. This is a question and this was the answer I gave. This was definitely not known to me when I studied in the college. Next question. Now that you are working for the past 5-6 months, if not every day, at least on some of the instances, do you find yourself to be better than someone else who joined with you, but that person, he or she, has not undergone the CSDC program? For that also they said yes. Again I told them to narrate the instance. When did you find yourself to be better than someone else? If not every day, at least on some occasion. They said, this is what my boss asked me, and our people were not knowing. Neither he expected us to know, but I gave such and such answer, he was surprised. Or something like, this was the assignment given, others were struggling, but I could do. These kind of things. So now we know that practically also this is really useful. So this feedback is really encouraging us. So with this, we are trying to do more and more sessions for colleges, and initially it was open for all the colleges, very first program, because it was September 21, Corona time. We only sent the flyer to various colleges asking them to pass on the information to their alumni. That's how we got the first batch registration. But based on the feedback some of the participants gave to their colleges, some of the colleges started contacting us, and subsequently I think every batch is exclusively for a particular college. But we are not very particular about that. If it is combined for 2 colleges also, we don't mind. But that's the way it has happened. And some of the colleges, they are going to repeat. Some 3 colleges are going to sign MOU with us very soon. MOU or no MOU, that doesn't matter. But the point is, they are happy, their students are happy, and they are asking for a repeat program every year. And one of the colleges, as I will say even university, deemed to be university, has taken approval from their board of studies to consider this as a 2-credit course. And right now we are working on how to evaluate. Because normally when we run the program, we give the lectures and the people take down notes and they ask questions, there it ends. But how to evaluate also, because this is a 2-credit program. So that way this is going on. So that is the end of the presentation, and these are our contact details, and we are available. Thank you.